We're here with the Sacred Woundings cards, which, listen, I don't normally use these in people's reads, but somebody asked for something, so we are going to use it today. However, I just feel like sometimes they're not ready because you might be dealing with chronic guilt and shame. You know, this deck just hurts your feels, but they said they're ready, so let's read on. Let's read on. You need to heal from some codependency wounds is what they're saying here. So you have an unhealthy reliance on others for a sense of self-worth and identity. And in that's because you have a superiority wound too. So this is an inflated sense of self-importance and a need to dominate or control others, often masking underlying feelings or insecurities, fear, vulnerability, and a lack of genuine connection with others for themselves. So this is kind of a deep-rooted thing here. I'm going to throw some tarot on this. So our codependency wounds sometimes come, and especially if you have a superiority wound too, that leaves it in for a lot of conflict here. However, I feel like something has been on Hangman for you. There's been a Hangman here, so you're looking at things from a different perspective, and it's kind of confusing and causing a lot of conflict inside of your life right now. This has to do with a lover of yours. You're recognizing something inside of a connection that you have that is causing a lot of new perspective looking. Like you're being able to look at things from a different perspective. However, this person has your heart space here because you got the Queen of Cups showing up here, which means there is love there. Not just love, baby, but okay, so you actually have made up your mind with this and you have this fiery idea, but they're telling you that there's wounds here that you need to address first, because in addressing these, you'll be more grounded in this connection here. You're having the King of Pentacles show up, which is it's actually a very good card to show up for you. Something is about to shake your foundations though, and in shaking your foundations, this is going to give you a new beginning here. You're going to be able to take a leap of faith, and in taking a leap of faith, you're recognizing where you have an overabundance of emotions here. You're recognizing where you're kind of angry over having this overabundance of emotions. However, there's a judgment call very strongly from your angels here. Listen, they're telling you. Look inside of yourself here for not just a new perspective, but look inside of yourself and find who you truly are inside. What do you truly want to be inside? Look inside for the guiding light that is guiding you to your next opportunities here. Not just your next opportunities, but it's guiding you into making sure that you have an abundant life here. There's a lot of strategic roles being played right now, and not just that, very strongly, there's a lot of sneakiness surrounding around you, but this is because you're mastering a new beginning here. So you have to go through this energy to be able to recognize it and heal from it and move forward from it. Once you do that though, once you master that energy inside of yourself, this is going to open up a new doorway for you. This opens up a new doorway of a live perspective here, but an emotional fulfillment space inside of yourself that's going to have a lot of truth with it. This is beautiful, but innately you already know this. This is already inside of your heart space here. You're waiting for that transformation state. You're going through that transformation state. I feel like you were waiting for a message, or you were waiting for something to be delivered to you. But this is because you've been anticipating inner conflict inside of yourself. And then when you was anticipating this left you feeling like you were missing something, or you're looking back at something missing, a connection that you had. However, there's a collaboration here that you're not quite... You do see it, actually. Not only do you see it, you're making sure that it happens. I feel like you're writing someone, or somebody's connecting with someone through like a burner account, or you're following. There's something hidden here. There's something hidden inside of this, but it doesn't really matter. The universe says there is something hidden, and maybe address the heartbreak inside of yourself here, because you're everything ever that's hidden shows up here. You got wolves here, and you got lilies here, which is phases of the moon, and we have butterflies. So there is an evolutionary part in this, and you are learning how to be more dependent upon yourself here. And there's a lot of growth with this. However, there's something that there's something just not shown. There's just something that's hidden. There's something that you can't see. Yeah, there's something that you're not seeing here. It's about to be shown to you, though. That's why it's coming up so prominently for me. The fate is stepping in, and it's about to be shown to you. It's about to show up in your realms here, to where you're gonna have a clear. It's like written out. It's gonna be written out for you. Like you're gonna have a clear idea of it. There's something beautiful coming in that has offered you a lot. It's going to offer you a lot of change here, because you were going through this wounded warrior energy, but now you're in this transition state. And in this transition state, you are mastering your heart space. And in mastering your heart space, that masters your energy. And in mastering your energy, that allows you to move forward and show up better for yourself, and allow the fate to step in for yourself too. Make sure that set an inferiority wound too. So you know, maybe the person has an like your partner, whoever you're. I can't tell if you're writing from a burner account or somebody else is writing from a burner account. Like it's just, that's what the feeling I'm getting. It's hidden. It's hidden behind a keys, is how I see it. However, one of you has codependency problems, which I'm saying you. It's because there's a blockage in your crown chakra, but there's an inferiority and a superiority disorder here. So maybe one of you looks at each other like they're inferior or they're superior to the other, and the other looks at each other in the same manner, or they both. There's something that needs to be addressed here. Yeah, there's a lot of gossip around this too. Not just gossip, there was a lot of slant. Or maybe somebody said something that was different. No. Somebody's hiding behind keys. That's all I can see is keys, and their face is hidden. However, you're going to have to address the superiority issue inside of yourself here, and emotional numbness. Sometimes we have to address our emotions, that way we can learn how to grow from them, and they don't keep us stuck here. We have to face the disillusionment that we tell ourselves, because that makes us repress our emotions instead of actually face them and deal with them. Emotions are visitors. Just don't forget that. They're not here for a long time. You can bypass them by not identifying with them. Like you can say, anger is moving through me, instead of I don't even want to say that. You have abandonment wounds as well, and this is which probably shows up in your codependency wounds, because it makes you hold on to things a little bit tighter when you have those wounds from a core being self. And I'm going to say it had a lot to do with the father wound, because the father wound card did show up, which would make the abandonment wound become present in your adult life. Maybe there was something that you didn't address within your childhood that has carried over. Those are the advice I have for you, and I hope that if anybody likes these sacred wounding cards, you can ask for them. I really don't put them too much in my readings, because they're just so blunt that a lot of people get their feelings hurt and they think I'm being rude. But I'm not being rude, I'm just reading these. But that's from your own humiliation wounds. So those are things that we have to address inside of ourselves, from persistent shame and things. All right, keep your vibes high today and leave all that other ish alone. Thank you.